The biggest change I've seen in agriculture in my lifetime has to be technology. We've gone from, I grew up on a small cattle ranch, and you saddled your horse and you gathered and you watched the butcher in the field, and then we moved forward into, other technology. I remember when we got our first fax machine, our first Apple II computer would take hours to run calculations. We could go to town and have lunch, come back, and my reports would be finally printed out on our bull test. So now in today's world, we can, run it with our telephones and our GPS and our tractors and airplanes that fly on our rice. We quite often tell young people who want to be in the cattle business, you got to know a lot more than how to doctor a calf and ride a horse. You better come to us with now college education and know how to work numbers, computers, track your animals, your feed, do conversions. It's a whole different world out there. Quite often I say to Jerry, you farm out of a briefcase, these days, and now we don't even say that anymore. Now you farm out of an iPhone. And so it's a different world.
It's amazing to me on the phone situation. Before we had them, we had CB radios. And so, but CB radio, you can only talk so long on that. Pretty well you're done. And so then we got a bag phone that weighed about 10 pounds, and you threw that in the pickup and out you went. But you had to get to a certain spot because you didn't have any reception. And now we have a phone that is more powerful than the Apple IIe computer that I used in the 80s. Technology has just leapfrogged in agriculture. We save so much on better machinery through our chemicals that we have to put on to control the diseases and the pests so you can have good, safe food. And we don't use near as much as we used to. We don't use near as much water. We don't use near as much anything because we've learned how to fine-tune our operations. It's amazing where we're going from here. I think the automation, the tractor drivers that we can't hire today, there won't be any tractor. In 10 years, there'll be a guy sitting around with a computer running a 1,000-acre operation and not a man on them, and just have a guy to make sure that when it breaks down, he can fix the electronics. When they come out to fix a tractor today, first thing he does is pulls out a briefcase and plugs into the side like you do your car to see what's wrong. We can't fix a lot of our stuff anymore because they've made it way, way too complicated, which raises the cost. If I can fix it, nobody pays me $150 an hour to come out and fix that tractor, and that's what we pay. So just for labor, not the parts, which we can't get. And so it just goes on and on and on. I think that we sometimes try to add too much to our technology when the old adage, like my dad and many of his generation said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And sometimes this is the way. We have to keep things a lot simpler than we've got them now, because one chip goes out and you're done. A rice harvester today costs you $750,000. If one chip goes out, you're done. And it might take that guy an hour to get there because I can't put it in. And some of the machinery companies won't let you have the codes to run it yourself, so you have to hire their people to come out and fix your equipment. When in the old days, and I don't mean 100 years ago, I'm talking 20 years ago, 30 years ago, I could go out and fix the harvester. It broke, I just went and got the part and fixed it. Or my guys who worked for me did. Those days are gone. By doing that, you've added layers and layers and layers of more cost. And that's why I think these trade schools are so important for the young people of today. I think there's more important than college is, in the sense for the masses. not everybody's going to go to Harvard. Not everybody's going to graduate from Stanford, let alone get in and pay $100,000 a year to have the privilege of doing so, and get out and can't get a job other than at McDonald's because there are either too many of you, and yet we can't find a plumber. You can't find a guy to go in and work at these auto shops. You can't find anybody to work in agriculture to set up to be a welder and many of the things that we used to take in school. But the trade schools, we see more of them, and I really am glad that part of it is starting to come to the surface.